So what I wanted to start with is I want to share with you what the screen will look like. You will get a login link and you will get a username and password. We're actually right now working with the building guidance department and the principals to get your accounts all set up. All of our students are uploaded into the program, into Florida Virtual Learning now, and now we're just going through and ensuring you have all the courses that you need. So we're going to be doing that for a few days. You will get a email login with the email address and your password, and I just want to show you what it looks like when you do log in. So I'm going to share that screen with you. Again, it's just a screenshot because we don't have the access yet. But what you're seeing here is the screenshot of what the domain will look like. So when you log in, you will see a website that looks similar to this. Again, this is just a picture, but you will be able to get in and it'll look like this. You'll have 3 links at the top. Courses, which when you click on courses, the yellow line will light up. All of your courses will be here. You'll have a to-do list that's you work with your facilitator, and you maybe make out some of the things that you need to do during the week or things you put on there yourself. An activity stream will be the work that you had done or that you have handed in or you're in process of doing. This is what your courses will look like. You will get all of your courses in these, digital folders almost. And each one of these, I can't click on them because it's a picture, but you would click on this and it would take you to another screen with all of your activities, lessons, any support material you have. And it would be, here's the first lesson you have to get done, here's the second lesson, here's the third. And through that, you will follow the procedures and then hit submit, and then it'll get uploaded. What you'll see is 2 things in this square. One is the current score. This will be the grade. So each one of these has a grade. If it's 0, you haven't turned anything in yet. You will have a grade and you will have progress, how far along you are to complete the course. And most courses are a semester long, which is completed in January. Sorry. So you will see that progress and you will see your score within this view. So I didn't know, and I can't see the chat window, but if somebody has questions or anything, just unmute yourself and ask away. But this is what the login will look like.
You want me to send it out in the mail, right?
Okay.
And email.
So I'm going to jump back to you all. So once you get your login information, that is where you'll go. The first official day for courses to start is Monday, the 28th. Next week, the facilitators will have 2 days worth of training, which will be on Tuesday and which will be on Friday. And then that following Monday is when we will start that coursework. And then the third thing I wanted to communicate with everyone is about attendance. That each day, Mr. Alfonso is going to be holding a morning meeting with either each grade level or a cluster of how it's deemed, because I think having the whole school at once might be tricky. But you have to log on at your scheduled time. It'll be like, again, a larger group. You'll log on, you'll have a morning meeting. How's it going? Show your face, take attendance, because we have to record attendance each and every day. So you'll receive a time, and it'll be the same time every day. Up to this point, you've been present every day, and you'll be present until the 28th. But after that, you'll have to log on to the Meet and connect with Mr. Alfonso each day. If for whatever reason you can't connect at that specific time, not that you overslept or not that you want to sleep later, like if you have an issue or something that you can have one of your family members connect with Mr. Alfonso, then you can connect before 2:30 at any time. But you would have to make that appointment yourself and connection yourself. It can't be an email or it can't be a text to say, I did my work today. And it's not even about work completion. It's about just ensuring that you have your work, you understand what you're doing, and that you're present each and every day. If you happen to be sick, or if you are not able to attend the meet, just like you would for at the high school, you would send information to Mr. Alfonso. You wouldn't send it to the nurse. You would send it to Mr. Alfonso, I'm sick today, and you would just be marked absent. If you choose to do some work, that's fine too. It would just be like being homesick. If you had some work to do and wanted to get it done, that's fine too. Your day starts when you have that morning meeting, but you don't follow your typical high school schedule where you have your morning meeting and then first period science, second period English, third period math. You at that point then determine what activities and lessons you work on. The recommendation I've been giving families is between, and for high school, I'd say it's a little bit more, but between 4.5 and 5 hours a day, you should be engaged in the learning platform. And that you can pace it out however you want. If you want to do 2 hours, have lunch, do 2.5 hours and be done, or however you choose to do it, that's up to you. If you want to do an hour, take a break, do an hour, have lunch, do 2 hours, take a break, and do another hour at 7 o'clock at night, that's up to you. But I would pace yourselves at about 4.5, 5 hours a day for work. That'll get you through your 7 courses by the end of the semester. So we went through a lot already. We did attendance, we did start date, we did what your view would look like. We went through a little bit of a schedule, sick time. I just wanted to open it up now to see if you had any questions, any things that you were pressed about, anything that's on your mind. Next week will look very similar to this week, where you will have activities emailed to you from Mr. Alfonso first thing Monday morning. And then at some point next week, it won't be this exact time, but once I have all the information for you, we're going to have another almost like all program meeting where I can go through, here's when we start, here's where we, here's the information you need, and move through that. So Melly, as far as adjusting your course, meaning what you had, you don't want anymore? Because I think courses were selected at the end of last year because your guidance is working on it right now. So my suggestion is you contact the guidance office or Miss Kenny, because they are, I mean, we were doing it right before we logged on, taking the courses that you would have had if you were an in-school student last week and duplicate that in the Florida virtual program. If it's something where the elective you did have, but they didn't have it, and Miss Kenny or the guidance selected one that was close, but you didn't like, it would be after you see your courses. If it's something you want to be proactive with and give them a call, like I don't do the schedules at all. That's nothing I do. So that'd be something you'd have to connect with your guidance department on. Other questions? Attendance and meet in the morning, just so you know, the cameras are going to be on. We have to see you. It's going to be part of the morning routine.
Dr. Joseph, one thing I do want to add is that they need to log on with their LHS, the school email, when they log on.
Absolutely.
They can't use some other email, and their camera needs to be working. You need to see their face
Yes.
in order to take attendance. It's going to be like a 10-minute meeting, like Dr. Joseph talked about earlier. Just it's a check-in to make sure everything's fine, everything's okay for that day. But please make sure that you're logging on with your LHS, your school email. Okay.
Awesome. And Juliana, there's going to be a certain amount of work, but there's nothing assigned. I want to be next week. There'll be some things from Mr. Alfonso, but once the program starts, there's absolutely nothing assigned per day. You're going to work with Mr. Alfonso to say, again, I'm making up numbers, but there's 40 things that need to be done in math so that you can take the final. Set out a pace that if you do 5 a week, you're going to have the time to take the final, or there's 3 assignments that need to be done before you take assessment 1. You set that schedule yourself. Yes, there's a certain amount that has to be turned in to complete the course, but it's not going to be like a typical week of high school where on Monday you get 4 assignments that are due Tuesday. You essentially could do all science one week, all math one week, all ELA. I wouldn't recommend it, but each of us learn differently. And if that's a learning, if you do 3 assignments in math on Monday and 1 on Friday, and that's how you get your 4 done a week or whatever the number is, that's fine too. So half of that is correct. There is a certain amount of work assignments, but it's not per day. And the other thing, just for clarity, and again, I'm just trying to make sure we cover everything that has come up through the week. When you log into the virtual learning platform, it's going to be all digital. The directions are digital, meaning you have to read them. The activity is digital, which you have to go through on your own. There may be some accompanying videos from Florida virtual educators that just give you this is an exemplar, and they share with you, or they give you some ideas on how to do it. There is no live instruction time. Mr. Alfonso's role is to support you with your progression through the program, but not to be teaching you any of those 6 classes. Yes, Isabel, all the morning meetings are going to be done by 9, and all attendance has to be taken by 2:30. So if you're not able to attend that 9 o'clock meeting, then you'll have to check in throughout the day. But just to know, again, because this is the process, if you are continually missing the 9 o'clock meeting and checking in because either you've overslept or a different reason, you'll be either tardy on those days if it becomes a pattern, or truant if it becomes a consistent pattern that you are oversleeping or you are not attending the morning meets for any other reason than something that your family is connected with. Mr. Alfonso, is that a excused reason to do that? An example of an excused reason are elementary folks. There is an early elementary program that takes students in the mornings for families to work. And one of the days they're outside all day long and they can't there's no internet access. So we've worked with those families. So that would be more in the realm of an excused reason to not make the morning meeting. But that would be something you work out with Mr. Alfonso. Other questions, concerns, thoughts? This is your time, but at the same point, I don't want to keep everybody on the line.
Okay, Dr. Joseph, there's another
Yes.
thing that I think you had sent out earlier. I don't know if you want to go over, like, I need to meet with the kids at least once a week for about 10 to 15 minutes.
Yep.
To check in. Do you want to address that right now?
Sure. So starting the 28th, because next week's going to be a little bit different because the facilitators have training. Once the program kicks off, you're going to have the meet every single day, and then there'll be a time throughout the week that you connect with Mr. Alfonso to just check in. How's it going? He's going to review your learning portfolio, meaning the work that you're doing, your progress, and just have that conversation with him. It's not this, but I'm just using words that you're accustomed to, almost like an advisory time where you meet for 15 minutes just to check in. It's not following an advisory curriculum or doing anything like that, but there's a besides the daily check-ins, there's going to be one more just formal check-in that you have that if families want to join or whatever, if you have questions, that's when that happens. The morning is just students, just attendance, and then you move forward with your day.
Now, Dr. Joseph, one other question from my end. I'm going to assume that these meetings are mandatory. When we schedule them, let's say we agree on a time or I schedule them for them, and obviously we'll talk about this later, but they are mandatory, correct?
This is part of attending the program is
Yes.
also attending, and because we have to, our role and Mr. Alfonso's role is to ensure that all our students are making progress to matriculate to the next grade. Meaning if you were in school each day, we would be able to see if you were doing activities. If you're home all the time and we don't see that, then we can't report that you're making progress. So you do have to connect in the morning for attendance, and you do have to connect for your weekly meeting.
Okay. I just want to make that clear to everybody because I don't want it to seem like it's not a mandatory meeting. Okay.
Yeah. Other questions, concerns? So we will meet next week. I don't know when yet. I don't want to just schedule something without having more information, and expect some information from Mr. Alfonso Monday morning. Okay. All right. Well, I hope everyone has a great rest of the day. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Good luck with your work next week, and we will continue to stay informed. Once we know, we'll send it information out to you. All right. Have a great day, Mr. Alfonso. We'll see you in about 45 minutes.